Joining me now is Anni Cyrus and a guest who hasn't been here for a very long time, Amin Faridi. He joins us now. Amin and Anni, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having us, Brannon.
Amin Faridi. I'm sure I'm pronouncing the last name wrong, incorrectly. I got Amin part. I get that part. Why don't you pronounce the last name, Amin?
Faridi.
I'm doing pretty good for a guy with dyslexia. Amin has been a longtime friend, although we haven't had him on the broadcast for a while. I sent over a story to Anni, and I said, are you familiar with this? She said, not only am I familiar with the story, I know Amin. I'm like, what? I know you guys were friends. So here, I've been friends with you for a long time. Anni, a long time. Had no idea you both knew each other, at least unless I somewhere knew and forgot that I knew. But there you go. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. One, we're going to get with Anni here in a minute about what's going on in Iran, as she likes to prefer I say it, versus Iran. But first, we're going to talk about someone from Iran. Now, Amin, you are from Iran originally, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you now run a ministry. Let's show it. Here it is right here. It's IranChristians.org, or as us Americans say, Iran. IranChristians.org. And so we've got a situation here where most of us in America want to see the illegals moved out, particularly the gangsters, the MS-13, the Venezuelan gangs, Hamas, any of these people, right? Hezbollah people, any of these folks. But in the process, we have now gotten reports of a few folks caught up in it who have been hauled off by ICE. One in particular. Tell me about this gentleman, and I guess he's now been in custody for 7 weeks. Who is he and how did this happen?
His name is Mehrdad Medipur. He was among the 11 that were arrested the day after the B-2 bombers went to Iran. This Iranian Christian man lived in our home for the past 2 years.
Lived in your home?
Yes, sir. He came to America through the southern border, illegally entered, but it was in the custody of...
He did illegally enter?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He illegally entered the U.S. He was in the detention center. We wrote to ICE and to the judge, and they released him to our custody. He was paroled. They call it admitted and paroled to our custody. And we fought for his asylum, proving that he has a legitimate fear of returning to his country.
And that country is?
Iran.
And the reason he would have fear is because he's an avowed Christian pastor. What is he?
Not only that, he was running one of our underground Christian print shops, producing thousands of tracts and distributing inside Iran, which is absolutely a very, very dangerous work and endeavor to
So he was running
out.
your print shop, producing tracts in the Bible and the gospel.
Yes, inside Iran, yes, and distributing them. And as a result, his life was in danger. He was threatened directly. The Iranian intelligence agencies contacted his phone number, and then they threatened him. They say they know who he is, what he's doing, and all that. And he said his blood, it is halal, meaning it is now at their, because of the sin he has committed. He has made his blood completely permissible to be shed by.
So in other words, the Islamic regime, their secret police or whatever they are, basically said, "We're going to come kill you."
Yep, that's one of the threats. And they also came to his work and collected some evidence, asking the people he evangelized in Iran where he was. They were gathering the information, but before they caught him, he got out and he made it to America. And we complied with everything that the United States Homeland Security, Department of State, USCIS, you name the bureaucracies. We applied with him. We complied with everything. His legal asylum case was presented to USCIS, Homeland Security, Denver court, and ICE. So they had everything, and they know where he was. The DHS issued him a social security number and a work permit. We have those. We had his parole authorization, and he went to one hearing November of last year, and he had another one coming up November of this year. But they poured into our home. They came to our door. handcuffed him and took him. FBI came and then took him as, and then the allegation was that he had living with another Iranian, which was here since 1991 illegally, and that gentleman supposedly had a extensive criminal, and they were in the same residence, which everything I just said, it was nothing but a lie. We don't know who that man is. He never lived with that man. He always was here. And that's part of the lies that they put out about him. And then they took him in. It's been 8 weeks now.
Now,
and
who's
tomorrow
doing
he
that?
has actually.
Why would they put out a lie he was living with someone with a criminal record when he's been living with you the whole time?
Because they had nothing against him. Absolutely
Who's
nothing.
lying?
DHS and the ICE were both lying.
Then why would they want to do this to a guy that's here and going through the process, got a social security number, got a work card, he's a Christian? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe because he's a Christian, but wait a minute, that can't be going on under the Trump administration, or is there still a lot of Biden holdovers in the DHS?
Well, I have my assumptions for sure. One of them would be that he was an easy target. He was an Iranian, and this is after the war, right the day after the bombers went to Iran, and freaking Islamic regime of Iran came out and said we have sleeper cells in America, and we will activate that sleeper cells. He was an easy target for ICE or FBI to get picked up. And instead of they actually go after those sleeper cells, they picked up somebody like this brother in the Lord that they knew where he worked, where he lived, everything. So.
Oh, Anni, I want to bring you in on this. Anni, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I originally talked about Mehrdad's case on your program, Brannon. It was the show we were doing after the ceasefire was called. I brought up his case. Well, I didn't name him or give much detail, but I did mention that in this new witch hunt, they're picking up Christians. I want to make two things very clear. I have always been strong that if you came to this country illegally, you shall be deported. But let's be clear. Mehrdad has what's known as alien number, also known as A number. The moment your alien number or A number is issued by United States of America's Immigration Office, you are no longer undocumented, nor are you illegal. Yep. No longer. Yep. So we want to be very clear. He is not an illegal. He did not jump over the border, come in, go start working under the table, getting cash, sending it back to IRGC and Hamas members. That is not an individual we're talking about. He was forced to come in illegally for the fact that United Nations in Turkey is pushing all the Christian cases of Iranians back to get the rest of the infiltration going. So he was forced to come in illegally, but the moment he arrived...
Wait a minute, you lost me there. Why was he forced to come in?
Because United Nations in Turkey is not taking care of the Christian minority Iranian cases right now.
What are they doing with them? What are they doing with them?
Putting it at the bottom of the cases again. I have two family members in Turkey right now awaiting the first interview of United Nations for 3.5 years, Brannon. Just the first interview. 3.5 years. None of those family members are pastors, nor did they do any printing. Their life is not on as much risk as Mehrdad's, but they are waiting 3.5 years to just get the first interview in city of Van in Turkey with United Nations.
Amin, were you going to say something, Amin?
Yes, I want to add something really important to what Anni says, because our ministry is working and advocating for these Christians for the past 44 years. So in 2015, United Nations, the commissioner, UNHCR, commissioners of refugees, turned the interview process from what we call a neutral officer to the Turkish immigration officer, meaning a practicing Sunni Muslim now is going to make decision in regard to an apostate or a traitor. What would they call the Muslims who convert from Islam to Christianity? Now that Muslim Sunni practicing Turkish officer now is going to make decision in regard to an apostate. They view you as an unclean person. They view you that you have betrayed Islam. Therefore, the interview process is biased. This past over 10 years now, it's this 10 years has since 2015, we have never seen a successful case going through. Never.
None.
Every time this Iranian Muslim background Christians that they go to these interviews, those Turkish officers, they tell them the Christians have no problem in Iran. After 10 years of waiting, 11 years of waiting, their cases have been denied, rejected, and now they're at the point of deportation. As I'm talking to you, last week, a family that was waiting there 8 years, the whole family, mother, father, and their son, the immigration police of Turkey went to their home, picked him up, plucked him out of their lives, and then put him in detention to deport him to Iran. And these are Christians. They had no options of going through the systems. The system I went to in 2009, you would go and an officer would hear your case. You would present your case. They vet you, and then you give them documentation. You would get accepted, and then they send your case to another country of resettlement. They do their due process, and then you come to the U.S. That is completely out of the picture now. They didn't have any other options. They cannot go to Iran. They were desperate so much that this brother Mehrdad, this Christian, came through 8 countries, through Venezuela, all the way to Colombia, Guatemala, 8 countries. He went through, put his life in danger, walked hours in the Amazon jungles, and made it to the U.S. and complied with everything. We complied as a ministry with everything that U.S. Government requires. And then they picked him up, and then they said that he's a threat.
And 100% positive that he is not a threat.
Yes.
100 million%. If they had anything against him, he would have been already deported.
Now, do we have to worry?
I mean, John, 1 second. I have a better reasoning for saying, yes, we trust him 100% or 1,000,000%. If he was a threat, he wouldn't have to go through 8 countries to get here. If he was one of the base plants of IRGC, he would have made his way here simply, very easily, like the rest of them. When you have to go through everything you went through to get here, that is proof that you are not one of them.
Otherwise, how would they get here?
With a direct flight to Mexico, and from Mexico they bring you up here. Really
okay, so you would have gone from Iran on a flight to Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's been in custody now for almost 8 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? Do we have to worry that he's going to be shipped back to Iran and murdered?
So hear me. What happened was their first allegation or charges of the ICE or the government lawyers against him was that he was not admitted on parole. Mm-hmm. So we proved that no, you're making a mistake. This is his paperwork. We gave it to them. Both court and the government lawyer, admitted those paperworks or those documentation into their record. And then the next thing after the hearing was there, instead of them saying that we made a mistake, we'll release you, they said, no, now we will amend the original charges, which you weren't admitted or paroled to this country. Now they're amending the charges. So then meaning you wait in the custody for another 10, 12, 14 days to be heard again. But they didn't have anything. These past 2 weeks, they haven't charged. The government and the government lawyer didn't have anything to amend their charges, so they haven't posted. So tomorrow, by the grace of God, we will post a bond. We'll see, because every time we went to those with this hope, they have come up with some new allegations.
And what is the bond? How much is the bond?
It could be as maybe $15,000 or something like that.
15,000?
That's what they said. Yeah, maybe. We don't know.
And will you finance 10% of it and get a bail's bondman for the rest, or what?
Probably, yeah, something like that. Yes.
Anni, tell me. Again, our audience knows you big time, and you and I again don't have a lot of patience for people coming in illegally. But we're making the case here, you guys are, that this guy was fleeing literally for his life. But then when he got here, he reported in, said, here's my deal. He was given a social security number, a work permit, he got his number, which immediately meant he went from illegal status to legal status, waiting.
Yes, that's very important, because a lot of illegals in a lot of blue states still get their social security and work permit. But the key word here is alien number, A number. And you can search it. Having a number or alien number, I have one. To this day, as an American citizen, I still have an alien number. Okay. The moment you get the A number, that means you did it right. You did it immediately within the window of walking in and saying, listen, I did it the wrong way, but I want to turn it into a right way. And it also means you had a legit case for an investigation to be opened up for you to seek asylum.
Again, in his case, is he was printing gospel tracts and literatures and distributing them and sharing Christ with people, and the IRGC found out about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and his baptism video is also on YouTube. So,
really, how can I find it? How can I find it?
Yeah, of course. I'll send you the link. His baptism video, the pastor who baptized him without his permission posted it on YouTube, and that's done. That's enough evidence for your crucifixion in Iran, according to the Sharia of Islam. Now this Muslim man, Mehrdad Mehtipur, has converted to Christianity, and the evidence is this baptism video, which is posted on public social media all over the place. I'll send you the link, and you can.
It's not on your website. It's not on your website.
No, it's not on a website, but this was part of his case when we submitted it to the USCIS, Denver court, and also the ICE.
So what do we need to do to help? Is there anything, any phone number anyone can call?
Well, we have, they have told us a congressman could step in and help, and but our congressman was not very interested in this. And
does it have to be a congressman in Colorado? Could it be another congressman?
Probably any congressman could help to advocate for him.
We have a few congressmen we know pretty well, so we could ask them and then see what we can do from there.
Yep.
Okay, I'll make a couple phone calls. Right, Annie?
Absolutely, and also,
and we'll send them this. We'll send them this. We'll send their staff and them this video, this presentation here.
Yep.
Yes, and we will have a petition out. Here's another thing. Technically, by definition of immigration, right now, what ICE is doing is absolutely against our immigration policy. Even if, I'm not saying they have it, but even if President Trump himself signed a paper saying go pick him up, what they are doing as of today, meaning they're holding him, an active, legal, registered alien is being held in prison or released on bond without any charges. That cannot happen. They either have to charge him immediately with a crime and back it up with evidence, or they have to release him unconditional. Done. So we will have a petition out as soon as possible, and this one has to be signature of Americans, either green card holders, citizens, doesn't matter. But if we manage to get over 7,000 signatures on this petition, then we can absolutely force ICE to either charge or release him immediately.
Where's the petition?
I am working on it as fast as I can.
Okay.
As soon as it's available, it's going to be on my website. It's going to be on Amin's website. And we're going to send it out to our newsletter for everyone to find it.
Excellent. Now, how quick was he on the path to becoming an American citizen, Amin, before all this happened?
Well, the process is not as easy or fast because, as you could imagine, the system is already overloaded. His asylum case would have been heard between 4 to 6 years. But meanwhile, they have issued him this work permit and the Social Security to work legally and then pay his taxes till it's heard. We don't know. So he had a hearing November.
Did he have a job here? Was he gainfully employed?
Yeah, he's a full-time mechanic. He had a job. He was and then
paying taxes.
Pay taxes. Everything I tell you, everything the American Constitution and law was requiring from an immigrant, he was on that path.
Wow. All right, we're gonna keep you posted. In the meantime, Amin's website is iranchristians.org. iranchristians.org. Any closing comment, Amin, before I move to another story real quick with Annie?
I voted myself for President Trump and the removal of the illegal and criminals, and this is not right. What has happened to us?
So you voted for him. You want to see the removal of the illegals and the criminals. This guy does not fall in that category.
This Christian persecuted brother in the Lord that came to take refuge here was not anything threat, anything criminal, if they had any of that, he would have been already gone. But while Annie knows, we have all sorts of Iranian government families that are roaming around on the Iranian money. They're here. They're causing issues in the government.
They are a threat, you're saying.
Absolutely.
And yet they're allowed to stay here.
Members, they're here, and ICE will not pick them up. But somebody like Mehrdad, that's not fair. That's not right.
So people need to also be praying for him. How is he doing in 8 weeks incarceration? How's he doing?
It's been really hard. It's been very disheartening. And he came here for shelter, for refuge. He loved this country. He loved Donald Trump. He loves the Christian values of this nation. But it's been very disappointing, of course.
Well, tell him to not lose hope, that Americans are paying attention, and America is a place of grace and mercy in so many ways. People want to see the right people. They want to see people that are at risk of persecution or even death, as this is his case, if he goes back to Iran, find a safe harbor in America through the legal process, which he was working on, and has the paperwork you guys say and the number to prove it. So yeah, I think most of our audience tonight is saying, look, we got to do right by these people that have gone through this process. So good. We're going to keep you posted on it. And Amin, come back, give us an update. Anni will keep us posted as well. And again, folks, you can visit IranChristians.org. Amin, thank you as always.
Appreciate you.
You too, Amin, and your ministry. All right, Anni, let's switch gears real quick. I want to talk about, you have a new article out. Here it is. Iran's nuclear plan B, the bomb without borders. Tell me about this, please.
Yes, that's actually, it's very much connected to what we just talked about, Brannon. So, as you know, since the B-2 bombs dropped, ceasefire came on, and we all went on with our business. It's done. Threat is over. Trump and his administration repeatedly saying it's done. We pushed our nuclear system ages back, and they never think about it. Netanyahu has said a few times that we done enough damages, but we don't know when they're going to start. And I figured I need to remind people again that just because somebody said something doesn't mean we're all in peace and safe now.
Mm-hmm.
This Substack breaks down the plan B. It's very long, so I can't get into all the details, but basically I connected all the dots for the people to understand. And I started the Substack by saying this wasn't a plan put together after the 12-day war because they were desperate. Iran has been practicing, and all the evidence and the receipt, as always, it's within that Substack, which will also be available on your website, on your vault shortly as well. So your audience can also find it there. A receipt is in there. Iran's regime has been literally putting the plan together and been practicing this plan way before the Israel-Iran war even started. I strongly believe today they're implementing the plan, and that is to build this bomb outside of Iran in their allies' places, as we were just talking about. Venezuela is on top of that list. They have done a test of building other type of missiles inside Venezuela before. They've been caught doing it. However, we have no control over Venezuela. I have named certain other countries such as Pakistan, North Korea, also Syria. I have it on. If they can buy their way into what they need, they will do it. The new leadership may not work with them. We don't know. Bottom line is, Iran did not give up on their nuclear plan, and we're not all safe over here. Unfortunately, our leaders are all too busy congratulating themselves. Nobody's following the money. Nobody's following the track. Nobody's looking at Kolang Mountain that I reported on, that is confirmed by the agency that it is 150 meters deeper than Fardo, and they already know that they have tracked uraniums in there. Nobody's even paying attention, Brannon. And I'm worried that while we all think it's done, they're actually finishing building their bomb.
Now, why are you calling it bomb without borders?
Because they're going to build it outside of Iran. And based on my report, I think there will be 7 different countries involved getting the pieces, transferring it, storaging it until when Iran is ready to put it together. And on the tracking, I have the conclusion that if they are doing what I have tracked and showed receipt for, when they have everything ready within these 7 countries playing their own roles as allies of Iran, it's going to take Iran hours to put this bomb together. Not
And
days,
what
Brannon,
countries are they
hours.
building it in?
Well, each country, I broke it down, but each country is playing its own role. For example, Pakistan, which I just broke another news on Pakistan, which is extremely disturbing with Trump administration now allying themselves with Pakistan. Remember, Pakistan is the father of nuclear bomb, accomplished, tested, and estimated 170 of them in its country, built by a man who actually started Iran's nuclear program. That man is in Pakistan, and he's not an ally of Trump. Neither is the government of Pakistan, by the way, just in case if anybody thinks Pakistan's going to be our allies now. Pakistan is the perfect place to put I called it the mentor, to put the actual process together. That's where Pakistan comes in. You have, why am I drawing a blank on Sudan? Can be a great storage. I know there's a lot of chaos going on in Sudan. I know Sudan decided to side with Arab countries. However, they still have the militia groups that work with Iran and have done in the past, and they have perfect locations for storing what they need to store until the next piece is done. You have Venezuela, as I said, they have already helped Iran building other materials. You have Syria that has great passing when these need to get into the country. Again, each country is going to play its own roles. And while nobody's looking, while we're already cheering that, yay, we took out Iran's nuclear program, pushed it for years, they're building. And when this is all done, again, it might be way too, how do I get those in power to actually pay attention? I don't know. Please make suggestions. But the minimum I could do was put this information out, at least for Americans to know that this is not over. Put down your champagnes. Do not celebrate what hasn't happened yet.
All right. So they can find that at liveuptofreedom.com, liveuptofreedom.substack.com, correct?
Yes, liveuptofreedom.substack.com.
liveuptofreedom.substack.com. All right, Annie, how at risk are we here in the country? Has the elevated risk gone down at all since our last conversation as far as attacks in the U.S.?
I don't think so, Brannon. I'm sure you know me well enough to know that I'm a little overwhelmed as I'm talking to you tonight. I don't think we're getting... okay, our administration is making way too many mistakes, Brannon. Way too many mistakes. We're shaking way too many wrong hands. And that is making me more concerned about us here inside the U.S. First of all, Islamic Republic of Iran is releasing non-stop. They're releasing new lists every day. They have their Israeli list. They have their American list. They have the Iranian dissident list out now. Now they have their European list. These are assassination lists, by the way. Lists with names that are going to be assassinated. Instead of paying attention to those lists and names like Israel is doing, what we're doing over here is wasting time waiting for them to give us the next appointment to sit down and talk, negotiate over some sort of peace deal or nuclear deal, I guess. I don't know.
How much is the risk rising on folks like yourself and Amin and others, or even this network that keeps highlighting all this? How much is that risk rising?
Let me put it this way, Brannon. I have not left my house in about 10 days. We don't even know if they're our next door neighbor now. And by the way, let me connect this to what you were talking with me and Amin about. I strongly believe they're just picking up easy targets, as Amin said, because they want to tell American people, look, we're picking them up. But none of them are the true threats that should be picked up. That's where my concern is. We're not picking up the right people. We're not arresting the right people. We're not asking the right questions. Well, we are, me and you, but our administration isn't.
In fact, Amin just sent me the picture of, that's the man that's circled there. He's the one being held now for 8 weeks, the Christian being baptized in Iran. So, and this was put online. How did it get online, by the way? Why would they put this online?
Well, apparently the pastor got a little too excited without asking for anyone's permission in that video. He published it.
Now, all those people are at risk, right?
Absolutely. Any face that can be identified in that video, well, it's basically they either get out or, well, they will be persecuted. Again, these are I'm in so many levels. Yes, it is personal for me. I am biased, but at the end of the day, why are we doing this, Brannon? Why is our government, the Trump administration, nonetheless, making all of these deals and shaking all of these hands? Every single name down the path has Christian blood on their hands, and why are we okay with it?
Making deals and shaking hands with people while we arrest people that are going through the process, have a social security number, an alien number, and are literally people who are fled Iran because they got caught being baptized and printing biblical Christian gospel literature.
The very people who in 5-10 years are going to add to our values in this country. They're going to become another Anni, Cyrus, and Amin Faridis of this country.
Mm-hmm. And Sharam Hadian, etc.
Yes. It is. I agree with what Amin said. It's extremely disappointing to know how bad things are getting under Trump administration when it comes to red-green axis. There is no protection of Christians inside the country, outside of country. It doesn't matter.
Live up to freedom.
And we both know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but just want to say we both know if this was Biden administration, you know what was happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
If Biden administration picked up a Christian pastor Iranian who had an alien number and a social security, it wouldn't be as quiet as it is tonight.
Yeah, I know, because nobody wants to report anything for fear of being anti-Trump and losing their audience and their money. And I'm not trying to be anti-Trump. I'm just trying to, I'm sure President Trump doesn't even know about this case. What we're trying to do is elevate it so he can, and his administration can fix it. And that's not being anti-Trump. That's being pro-Trump, a pro-administration, because we want them to have success and use their powers for good.
Amen.
Liveuptofreedom.substack.com, liveuptofreedom.substack.com. Read this latest article, Iran's nuclear plan, the bomb without borders. Annie tonight saying Iran's building a nuclear bomb. 7 different countries are participating in building parts of it to be assembled within hours when they call for it. Correct, Annie?
Yes, sir.
Read about it.
And again, the receipt is right there in the Substack. I am not making this up. You'll see it.
Well, Annie's show is every day here at 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern on Worldview Tube. 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern, right here on Worldview Tube. Our broadcast partner, Anni Cyrus. Annie, as always, thank you.
Absolutely. Please stay safe, Brannon.
You too, my friend. Anni Cyrus. Don't forget about her studio, lutfstudio.com, lutfstudio.com. You get some of her beautiful handmade artwork made by Annie herself. All right? We'll be right back after this break. Hello, I'm Brannon Howse. Would you like to gain access to over 20 years of my radio shows, TV shows, my books? I've written 15 books, and most of those books are ebooks now, and we have conference DVDs, conferences where we filmed our conferences at the Ozarks, literally starting 20 years ago. It's all available in our archived vault. All you have to do is go to worldviewtube.com/vault, worldviewtube.com/vault, and for a reasonable monthly fee, you gain access to over 20 years of Christian worldview programming, news, information, books, documentaries, and a powerful search engine. And folks, it's a great way not only to educate yourself, equip yourself, but it's a big way that you can help fund our continuation as a broadcast network. Please check it out. worldviewtube.com/vault, worldviewtube.com/vault, and help us continue pushing out a Christian worldview.